Good evening, everybody. This is your host, Folk, and welcome back to another episode of the Channel 256 News brought to you by Bitcoin Mining World. Today is September 3rd. Bitcoin currently sitting above $111,000, finally starting to make some sort of recovery after the last few days being down in the gutter. Starting to make a little bit of a recovery here, which is nice to see. Over here on the Bitcoin net hash rate, taking a little bit of a dive today, dropping below 850 exahash for some point. It's our lowest in about a week now. Kind of crazy to see. My assumption is people just trying to gain the difficulty change that's coming up here soon. However, we'll see in the next coming days more and more players unplugging. Today was a little bit hotter down here in the south, so it could just be some of the big Texas players hitting the curtailments for their power companies. Over here in traditional markets, we've got the Dow Jones Industrial Average making some sort of recovery after looking a little bit rough here too today, able to close almost back above where it opened at, which is nice to see, making a little bit of a recovery as well over here. As you can see, the strong correlation between traditional finance and crypto over the past week has, in most circumstances, you're seeing some nice moves over here. Over here in the Russell, down 2 points, less than 0.1%. S&P actually up today, along with the Nasdaq finally making to make some sort of recovery. Over here on some big news, we got Alphabet stock hits a new all-time high. Google avoided the worst in its antitrust case, which is really nice to see. If you weren't aware, Google was sued over some antitrust violations, with the big thing being that today coming out that Google would not have to sell the Chrome web browser. That was huge. That sent the stock absolutely flying up 9% on open and continuing out throughout the futures markets, which is really interesting to see. Towards the later end of the day, they were hit by a European country that sued them for it ended up filing some sort of charges to get them for, I think, 300 mil. Doesn't look like it had too much effect on the market price. See what happens up at opening tomorrow. However, it is looking good for now. Over here, just a good reminder for everybody, not your keys, not your crypto. Do not sign or validate any transaction that you are not initiating yourself. Crypto thefts hit 163 million in August as hackers shift strategy. Over here, Chronos Research CEO Hank Kong tells Cointelegraph that crypto exploits often rise alongside crypto prices as hackers try and cash in on the boom. Over here, you can see it is a 15% increase compared to July that we got out of August, which only recorded 142 million, though it is down 47% year on year, which is nice to see. Over here, you can see the PEC Shield Alert account put out a statement showing which big companies have been hacked and for what amount. Over here, the one of the major exchanges, Bitcoin Turk, suffered its second major breach in just over a year, losing 50 million after a $54 million hack in June of 2024, bringing their total losses to over 100 million. That is scary. I would not want to be an exchange owner. I cannot imagine all of the security that has to go on behind the scenes to make sure your customers' assets are locked up. That's currently not a responsibility that I would like to take on anytime soon. Over here, we got some news from Bitcoin Magazine from a couple days ago. At Bitcoin Asia, everything was upside down. In Bitcoin land nowadays, everything seems upside down. Despite all the bullish energy, all the records hit, and the Bitcoin treasury companies vacuuming the world for cheap sats, the price keeps falling. The dissonance was at maximum at the recently concluded Bitcoin Asia in Hong Kong. So it's just back to kind of one of the old jokes in the community with every time there's a Bitcoin conference, the price just getting shot down, kind of like the day after Thanksgiving stuff. It's something that we've seen a big decrease in over the last few years as Bitcoin keeps getting picked up more and more by legacy finance and just all over the mainstream media in general. We're not seeing as big a volatility, but it's kind of a little funny throwback. I think this one just has to do with timing over general markets, just like you've seen over here in the last, really in the last month, we're chilling. But in this past week has been pretty rough. I think it's just bad timing lineup. Over here from the block, we've got Trump-backed Bitcoin company soars and NASDAQ debut as president's son expand crypto fortunes. This is American Bitcoin finally getting listed on the public exchange, the NASDAQ exchange. American Bitcoin, which is blending a strategy of both buying and mining BTC, saw a stock rise of nearly 17%, 804 a share on its first day of trading. it's cool to see. I mean, anything attached to Trump and the Trump family obviously is going to perform extremely well right now. But then when you go and attach anything Bitcoin related onto that, you're knocking the ball out of the park. Easy buy. I'm sure some of you guys got in there at a nice price, maybe even before it actually became listed publicly, which would be pretty cool. We're here trying to load the chart. You can see it peaked at a high today. What was its high today? Day's range up to $14 from $6. A quick little 100% gain there for the few people that were able to take advantage of it. Super cool to see overall. I mean, just more and more Bitcoin mining being legitimized across who else but the Trump family, which is amazing to see. Over here, from Crypto Slate, we got Bitcoin whales holding dwindled to the lowest levels since 2018 amid significant profit taking. Curious to see what some of your guys' thoughts are on this. More and more whales are starting to take profits. Curious to see what your guys' opinions are on where we're at in the market cycle. Are we getting close to the bear? Are we just getting started with this bull? I think that argument is going to be a little hard to argue considering that we rallied from 50K up to 120 already. Think we are getting closer to the end. I don't think we're there yet. I think we've still got some room to grow personally, but we'll let time tell. Time is the best teacher. However, that is going to do it for today. Nothing too interesting in Bitcoin mining land. I hope you guys did enjoy this episode. Just a quick little update on market sentiment overall. Everything's looking in the green besides that net hash rate taking a huge dip today. That's been it, guys. If y'all did enjoy, make sure to smash a like on this video, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe so you can always be notified when we're uploading new content and when we're going live. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and have a great one. Peace.